How to create a succession plan. By the end of this video, you're gonna have a 6-step process that'll transition this business that kind of feels like it controls you into a sellable asset that can run and grow with or without you. What most people don't understand is how you sell your business to an outside buyer is very different from how you transition it to a family. The single biggest thing destroying the value of your business is probably something that you don't see at all, and it's locked right here in your head. So I want to walk you through 6 steps that I think will be incredibly helpful, and just get out a scratch sheet of paper. I've got a scratch sheet of paper here I'm going to walk through, and I'm going to really drill on one of these steps on this sheet of paper, but I want you to have a pen, and we're going to walk through this as I walk you through how to create a succession plan. So number 1 is we really do need to ask the question, why? Why are we doing this? You know, I've heard people do it. Maybe I'm in a peer group and they said you need a succession plan, or maybe I read a book or heard about a video or whatever it might be. But I want to know, why do you want to create a succession plan? Yeah, there are right answers and wrong answers, or at least we presume there are. But the truth is, I could give you all the right or the wrong answers, but if it doesn't match with why you want to do it, then it doesn't really matter. It's got to motivate you and inspire you. And without that motivation and inspiration, there is no why in that to move you. And so why do you want to write? So why do you want to transition your business? We've worked with a lot of business owners, and they'll come to us and they'll basically say, hey, I got an offer. This big outside private equity firm came in. They're buying up a bunch of HVAC companies or exteriors companies or whatever. And I think I'm going to do it. So we'll walk through, hey, and the first question we'll ask is why? And they'll go, I don't know. Because they presumed it was just about the money. But once we start to walk them through the value of that and the reality of that money transaction, what that looks like, they've got to do an earn-out or whatever it might be, they start to realize that this dream that they thought they were just going to get a $5 million check turns out to be about $2.5 million, and they're going to have a boss they don't like for the next 5 years, and they've got to earn into that, or what they call an earn-out. And so before you start walking down that road, you really do need to ask the question, why? The second step in actually creating a succession plan is identifying your succession plan advisors. Every one of you needs a team of advisors to be able to walk you through this, and it really starts with a certified exit planning advisor, or a CEPA advisor. And what that CEPA serves as is sort of a quarterback to help you get in touch and distribute to all the other advisors, CPAs, CFPs, attorneys, valuation specialists, whoever they might be. So your CEPA can start to coordinate that exit planning process and ensure that you've got all the right conversations being stoked with all the right people at all the right time. The third step in creating a succession plan is to identify, to protect, and to build the value of your business. Now, the reason we do it that way is because the Exit Planning Institute says, hey, before we ever start building value, you need to understand what the value is. That makes a lot of sense. But that second one might catch you off guard. Protecting the value. We're going to do that before we actually build value in the business. Why do we do that? Well, because think about it this way. Let's say you have a boat, and that boat is 10 feet tall, and it's going through the water, but it's got holes in it. Well, the boat's going to start sinking, and you're like, well, I want to build the boat bigger. Well, it's still sinking. And so what we need to do instead is, while the boat's the size it is today, let's start meeting with our insurance advisors, our business attorneys, our estate planning attorneys, and let's plug some of those holes with trust and wills and whatever. We're not financial advisors, we're not attorneys, so you need to make sure you consult with them on those sorts of things, and they'll help you plug those holes so that once the holes are plugged, now we can start building value on top of that. So we've got to identify value, protect value, and build value. The fourth step in developing a succession plan is where I really want to dive in with you right now. And that's this idea of creating the system of your business, because most people see their business as all the collection and amalgamation of stuff in their head, but the reality is people aren't buying you, they're buying a system. We live under this misnomer that our product is what we have to sell. And so, put in short, is the product. No, that's not true. The reality is your process is the product by which buyers outside will sell. So we want to get rid of this myth that your product is your product and that's what you have to sell. There are tons of products just like yours. In fact, I could make the argument that the product you sell is a bit of a commodity. But the process via which you deliver that product, that's unique to you. That's what you have to bring to the market. And so what we want to do is we want to enhance the value of this process, where 80% of the value of your business is drawn from. It's not your uniqueness, it's not your brilliance, and not the commodity of your product. It's the process via which you deliver that. So let's go about enhancing the value of the process. How do we do that? We do it with 4 Ps, and then what we call the O-A of process. And I'll explain that here in just a minute, but let's start with our 4 Ps. The first of the 4 Ps is purpose. Now, in purpose, what we're doing is we're walking through and we're articulating vision. It's the future destination of our business. It's a detailed snapshot of the future. Second is mission. That's why we're going to that destination here. Third is values. So what the values are, the curves along the side of the road, they're basically the filters for decision making. So think about this. When you have clean water and you pour it over coffee grinds and it comes through, does it come out the bottom as clean water? No, it looks and smells like what it just went through. Those are the values of your business. And then the fourth element is the culture. Now, something important to understand about culture is many people think, well, you're so lucky you've got this great culture. No, culture is not a product of luck. We don't just cross our fingers and hope for really, really good culture. Culture is a direct result of the ingredients that you plant. So if you don't want gossip, then you're going to need to plant seeds that are not gossip and instead are intentionality, thoughtfulness, or whatever those might be. And you might go, how do you plant intentionality and thoughtfulness? By doing things with what we call repetition, predictability, and meaning. Repetition, predictability, and meaning. When we start to do elements, weekly team meetings, agenda-driven, leader-led, weekly one-on-one check-ins with our direct reports. We do monthly executive meetings. We do repetitive, predictable, meaningful training with all the processes that we have. This will start to build the culture repetitively, predictably, and meaningfully. This will help you build purpose. Now, the second of the 4 Ps is people. And so when we look at people, the people are going to be able to help us get to the vision. But we're not using them just to get to the vision for our own device. The people are actually baked into the vision so they draw value as well. And so when we're building the system of our business, when we think through people, we need things like org charts. We need things like written job roles that are clear and not just pulled down from Google. We need things like scorecards that walk those job roles through daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, and what it looks like so that the people who function in these job roles as a function of this org chart and the skeletal system of the business, they know step by step what is expected of them every day, every week. That means we're doing less micromanagement and babysitting, they're being babysat less, and they're able to flourish and use their own creativity to lean in because they know what the foundation is. They've got a stable, clear foundation by which to work. Now, there's another part of the people that's really important because the people you will ultimately have are a direct result of how you hire them. And so we also want to include a hiring and onboarding process. Now, I've got a powerful video that'll walk you step by step on how to train new hires for success so that you can start to build the backbone of your business on people. Make sure you click on the link in the description below to walk you through that powerful next step video on how to train your new hires. So this new hiring video, I want you to wait till I'm done here because I'm going to walk you through the asset of the business. Then I want you to go down in the description link and I've got a powerful video that'll walk you step by step on how to train and onboard new hires. But wait till we're done so you can see the whole process that you're actually training them for. All right, the third P, after we talked purpose, people, is we're going to get into process. Now, this should ring a bell for you. At the beginning of the video, I told you this is where 80% of the value of your business is brought from. But the process has to have people to run it and a place to go. This is the purpose that we're going for. When we think about process, we want to break it down into 4 core systems. That is marketing, sales, operations, and administration and accounting. These 4 here. So when you think about your day-to-day is going to break down. You might say, well, where's HR? Well, you can put that in administration and accounting. Most everything you can think of in your business will fall under one of these 4 core systems in the business, just to simplify it. Then what we want to do is we want to get a scratch sheet of paper, actually put these horizontally this way, put marketing, sales, ops, and admin, and start to go down and begin to identify the titles of the processes that exist in each one of those functions. And so in marketing, you'll have this vertical and it goes, hey, updating websites, social media channels, outreach, advertising campaigns, whatever. Sales talks about your sales scripts, estimating, bidding, discovery process, ops, admin. You get the point. But we want to articulate this because everything that we have out of our head all of a sudden increases the value of the process so the people can start to work it in their scorecards according to their job roles, all structured within the organization, all headed in the direction of the business. Now, the 4th P, super important because this is the fuel of the business. So what gives us options? This idea of profit. Now, we want to look at profit in past, present, and future. So in those 3, we're going to look backwards, today, and tomorrow. Okay? So when we look at past, we're looking at things like balance sheets and P&Ls. When we look at future, we want you to subdivide all your bank accounts so when a dollar comes in, it metaphorically gets cut up and goes into its individual bank account homes. Those are actual bank accounts in our business. We actually have 9 in our business, believe it or not. And we're nowhere close to the record number of accounts one of our clients has, 52, which is crazy. So we look at past, present, and then the future is pro formas, budgets, things that we could be or will be spending or earning when we're looking at revenue, compensation, and things like that. So we look at the future here. So our profit vertical articulates and identifies and makes sure we have these things set up, dashboards, etc. Our process lines out everything in our head so that our people can grab it and drive it towards the purpose of why we're doing what we're doing. Now we still need to map out who are we going to transition this to? Who do we have a desire to transition this to? Really, all you have to think about is, do you want to work forever yourself? That's one transition option, which I don't recommend. Second, do you want to go to kind of friends, families, employees? Or do you want to go to the outside market? You can think of it in those 3 categories. And the accountability with your advisors is going to be crucial. You need to have advisors around you. Do not try to DIY this like you're trying to do when you sell your own home by yourself or whatever. This is a complex entity. The nice thing about real estate when you DIY it is you've got state laws that kind of control the terms. With business transitions, the terms can be all over the maps, and you really do need advisors to give you your best insight. Remember I told you about a resource earlier that I think will be really helpful for you? Now's the time to go click on that video to walk you through step by step how to train those new hires so they're ready to receive these processes and get you to your vision. My name's Scott. We work with business owners 3 to 100 employees to liberate you from chaos so you can make time for the things that matter most.